What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 52 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi.
Ollie's out of town.
Oh, no. Who do I have this week?
You have Maggie.
Were you going to say me?
Yeah, I could think of anything smart. I was going to say me or Ollie's clone, but... You
were the one that lifted the joke up and
Listen,
you just,
man,
teed it up for me, and then I hit it off, and you're just standing in the outfield like, oh, I didn't think he was going to do that.
Nope. Yeah, sorry. It's okay.
Well,
so how was your weekend, Parnell?
It was pretty good. I played a lot of Pokemon Go this weekend.
Oh, man. I didn't even know about the Articuno event, but
no.
I played last minute. I did 8 raids, at least.
Okay, that's good. I only did 6.
Okay. I missed on Shiny Articuno.
I got one of my employees, Chase, also plays Pokemon Go, right? And I was like, hey, do you want to play Pokemon Go with Meredith tonight? And he was like, sure. So he comes and plays with us, and we're standing out there like quarter till 2, and there's me, Meredith, Chase, and then Levi, her 11-year-old, who also plays. We can probably do them with the 4, but then a couple other people come up, so we end up with a group of like 11 people.
You're right.
And we go through and we do 6 raids. Not a single person gets a single shiny one, except for Chase, and Chase gets 4.
Yeah, dude. Yes, we had a group 2.
He got 4 shiny Articunos out of 6, and no one else even got 1.
Dude, we had like 8 people, not 8, maybe more, like maybe 10. 2 people got shinies, 1 got 4, the other one got like 5.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes, and then no one else, and everybody else got 0.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
We got to do that on Saturday, and then on Sunday was Squirtle Community Day, so that was a lot of fun.
I skipped that one.
Meredith had an insane day. We only played for an hour and a half. Meredith got 8 shinies, and that's not even the most impressive thing. It was which was nice though. I was able to get a shiny with sunglasses.
Nice.
Which is pretty sweet. In the span of 20 minutes, and this is not an exaggeration, I was like, you need to take a picture because this is like the most insane luck ever. In the span of 20 minutes, Meredith got 8 out of 9 10K eggs.
Just like spinning? Stop?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So she literally, and at that, now, it was 1/4 egg hatch distance, which is why she was able to we're clearing our bags out of eggs, but she got 8 10K eggs, like basically in a row.
Nice.
It was insane.
Nice.
Literally insane.
Meredith, congratulations.
Yeah.
Crushed Parnell. It's obviously skill.
Yeah.
Not luck.
There was a point where I had 2 spots, and we were spinning, and she got 6 10K eggs in a row before I got a single egg.
Okay, so I have a theory.
Yeah.
Right? But first I'm going to say Meredith obviously is very skill intensive.
She crushed me. It wasn't even close.
But I want to say, I've noticed, maybe this is just me being paranoid, but I feel like people that are lower level, like, catch more legendaries, get more shinies, and it's just like, overall, they get handled a little more.
Nah, I don't think there's anything to that.
Alright, well, it's paranoia. Anyways.
Yeah, it is.
So it was Saturday, right? Saturday was a Squirrel Day, or was that Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay, well, Sunday. Okay, Sunday, I was doing, I did pre-release.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. I didn't do the pre-release this week, and you did the pre-release. I just
did one. Went to South Carolina. The 2-head giant with Elizabeth. And we went...
Who's Elizabeth?
Our pool was... She's a person that I met at a Star City group. You know Ben Reagan in that group? And Kat and Nico?
I don't know the last person.
Okay, well, there's...
I know Ben and Kat.
Yeah, they're all in a group chat. Met her through there. She actually... So... I was like, hey, let's do 2-head giant. Our pool was awful. We opened like 2 Alpine Moons.
Nice.
A Magistrate Scepter.
Well, I mean, you wanted that.
Didn't play it. And like two other unplay. The Johnny's Last Stand, where you discard and make an angel.
It's no good.
And some other like completely unplayable card that I don't know what it was. It was, anyways. But we still managed to write off 3 wins, 3 out of 4.
Okay.
Win 3-1. Then afterwards, she made some bison. I've never had bison before.
What do you mean she made a bison? she fabricated a bison. Is this with Westworld
with magic? No,
you do it with science too. That's what Westworld did.
Oh, well, no, she cooked some bison. She wanted to cook. I told her I have doing the low carb diet, and that basically
And she was like, "Well, here's a live bison. There's no carbs here.
Basically,
it's all protein. You have to wrestle it down, so you're gonna get your workout in before you eat it."
Yeah, it basically it cut off like I imagine 80% of her recipe, like what she knows how to cook, or like is good at cooking. So she made some bison.
That's still 20%. You told me you have a low carb diet. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I do have water. I don't think that has any carbs in it. So
yeah,
you want some of that?
Yeah, but bison is pretty good. Bison is pretty good too. Darn's pretty good.
Bison is good. Bison is good.
Yeah,
it's quite tasty. Well, sounds like you had a good weekend.
It was fun.
Yeah, you got to surprisingly played more pre-release Magic than I did this weekend.
It's crazy, it's crazy.
So we did have a question of the week last week. Ollie, you and I agreed. Should Brainstorm be banned in Legacy? Yes, of course. Yes. And surprisingly, 29% of people said that it should not, and 51% of people said it should absolutely be banned. So
that's a landslide, by the way.
It is a landslide, but
I was surprised.
I was surprised too, because it's like, was this not? I don't know. Well, maybe my coalition of the willing is stronger than I think to get Brainstorm banned. So thank you if you voted in the poll. Whichever side you took, because it's always nice for you to vote. But this is a topic I feel particularly passionate about. So,
yeah, I think it should go too. And apparently, it's just not us.
Yeah.
So let's see.
51% of people. So
maybe if we keep chanting "ban the Brainstorm," in like 2-3 years, it'll get banned.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take whatever time I need. Okay. All right. Before we get to our first section, this is the part where we like to let you know where you can find us. Of course, you're listening on one of our platforms. SoundCloud. Oh my gosh, I did it again. There's one SoundCloud. There's only one. Don't look for multiple clouds. One SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher. We'd love for you to leave us a comment or a review on one of those platforms if you're able to. You can also find us on patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. We have a lot of great rewards tiers, including our $1 early access tier, the Augur Bolas tier, which gets you early access and gets you access to our Discord channel, which is a lot of fun. We also want to give a shout out to Eddie B, which is our newest disciple of Bolas Patreon supporter. Eddie, thank you very much for your support. All right. Ollie, you ready to talk about some Core 2019? We got preempted last week because there was a seismic crater in the landscape of Legacy, but I'm ready for this week.
Yeah, as SpongeBob would say, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. In that case, we'll be out for a second. We'll be right back. So I want to give everyone a quick rundown of how we're going to handle Core 19, because there's actually a lot in here for us to talk about. We're going to break up our Core 19 review over 3 episodes. This week, we're going to talk about our famous top 5 lists of 5, and this is going to be for 60-card constructed format. So all of you Commander and Cube fans out there that are waiting, we're going to make sure that we have an entire segment just for that. We don't want to get it mixed up with these. So this week, we're going to talk about 60-card constructed. Next week, we're going to kind of talk about the thoughts for the set in general, where it is after week 1, where it's going to be going in the future. And in episode 54, which is 2 weeks from now, that's the entire segment about Core 19 is going to be devoted to Commander and Cube and other casual formats. So, Ollie, you ready to jump right into our first first list of 5? All right. Top 5 week 1 impact cards. We're going into SCG Worcester this weekend. which is going to be the first large constructed event. Obviously, it's a team tournament, so you're only going to see a little bit of standard. But there's also a classic on Sunday, which is guaranteed to pump out some deck lists. So, Ollie, what do you think we're going to see that's going to make the biggest impact this weekend?
Are we going to start with 1 or 5? The biggest impact?
Start with 5. Start with 5.
All right.
Of course. So I listed them that way. You
5.
Start with 5.
Liliana, Untouched by Death.
Oh, I like that one. You know I'm a fan of that one.
Oh, I know. I know you leave some zombies.
I do.
M19 seems to have revitalized the zombie tribe. I think it's actually very good.
Yes.
They got a lot of fuel. Well, it's happening.
Yes.
They got a lord.
Yes.
They got some creatures. They got a
They
planeswalker.
didn't get a lord, did they?
Yeah, Death Baron.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, technically they did. They did.
Yeah, they got a lot of nice stuff to re-zombify, reanimate their
you zombify it.
Their death.
That's all I want to do is just zombify stuff.
All right.
Well, unfortunately, we got to move on to number 4, so we're done zombifying stuff, right?
Yeah, and I guess no more zombies for now.
So what's your number 4 card?
Diagraph
Oh my god, more zombies.
We're back to zombies again. That was quick.
Okay, so what is so Liliana's number 5, Diagraph Ghoul is number 4. Why is one over the other?
Diagraph Ghouls is a snap 4 of. It is in those decks. Liliana's obviously goes in the zombie deck. She doesn't go really anywhere else. And in the zombie deck, you always will play 4 Diagraph Ghoul before you play 4 Liliana or 3 Liliana, whatever.
Okay, that's fair.
It's very impactful. It's the best. It's one of the best 1-drops Zombies has ever had. Just one 2 for 1 is just really good. And I think this is part of the glue that helps bring zombies back up.
Okay. Yeah, the other 2 times that that's not true. I guess there's 3 other times in history that zombies has been like a tier 1 deck, but 2 of those times, I think as a professional zombie lover, Diagraph Ghoul is the 3rd best zombie 1-drop of all time in my opinion.
Okay. All right.
The number 1 is Gravecrawler, and number 2 is Crypt Breaker, for those keeping track at home.
All right, there you go.
Okay, there you have it.
Okay, then 3, we have Stitcher's Supplier.
Another zombie. Is this really the top 5 zombie cards?
This is Zombie Week.
I love Zombie Week. Now, Stitcher's Supplier, I feel like while this card is a zombie and fuels zombie shenanigans, this card I think has more legs than just a zombie deck. Do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's good in Modern for Dredge and Standard for God Pharaoh's gift decks. Just an excellent. People were playing that 1 blue card that gives you energy. You tap it twice and mills you for 4. Like this is better.
They can mills you 3, but you do it 2. You can do it 2 times.
Sure, but this is just instantaneous. Like
just
happens. It just happens. And it's a zombie. I think this card is great. I think it's one of the first ones we've seen that does this. That like just does it without anything else. Like Hedron Crab,
you don't need to tap it. You don't need to pay an ability. You don't need to. Yeah, it's
ATB ability for 1 mana.
It just does it, and it happens.
Yep.
It's a great card. This is a great card.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. I know it appears small, but that ability is huge for an ATB ability for 1-drop.
Well, and keep in mind, this is not just enter the battlefield ability.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean? It's not just enter the battlefield ability?
Well, it's when it enters the battlefield or dies.
Well, it's even better than
Did you not know? Did you not know that? Oh yeah, this card
card's actually insane.
Yeah, no, this card's great. This card is hey. It takes a lot to be the number 3, a 1-drop uncommon to be the number 3 card, impact card, right?
Man, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, this card's legit. This card is legit.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah, it won't quit. It comes in, it does it, and then when it dies, it does it. It never quits. Even when you try to make it quit by killing it, it doesn't quit.
True. All right, number 2, we have Ajani, Adversary of Tyrants.
Very cost-effective planeswalker.
This card is just very good. It's a 4 mana, which is like the sweet spot for planeswalkers. His +1 is great. He puts 2 counters on 2/1 +1 counter on up to 2 creatures. The number 2, -2 reanimates, so it's kind of like a zombie.
Yeah, it's zombie-esque. I mean, I think that is by far the best part of this card. Not that takes away from the other abilities, but what's the ultimate?
The ultimate is you get an emblem with the beginning of your end step, create 3 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink.
Okay, so...
And his -2 is he reanimates a creature that costs 2 or less.
Yes.
So reanimate that citrus supplier. Put it back into play.
You could.
I see Black White Zombies.
I see a lot of Ajani reanimating knights.
Oh yes.
In the future, and that's really powerful. Being able to come back and just immediately get a 2-drop. I mean, that's really strong. That's really strong, especially things that have like cheap things that have enter the battlefield abilities.
Also, I saw Tom Ross say I played this card a lot in the Future League.
Oh,
and that's when you know...
Good sign.
Yeah, that's when you know the card's really good. So
yeah.
The card's actually pretty cheap right now. I'll probably go and pick up a couple if you like white decks or aggressive decks. Or just want to play the best deck, because this has potential to be one of the best decks. So
yeah. Okay.
Number 1 card.
Ollie, this card is
crazy.
A consensus between you and I think it's almost unfair to say that Ajani is 2 and this card is 1, because I think the distance between them is significant.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because this card is more than one color. Number 1 is definitely Nicol Bolas the Ravager.
How frequent is it that the face of the set, like the card that's plastered all over everything,
is that the best card in the set?
Is the best card in the set? It's pretty rare, right? Yeah, it's like almost never.
I can't remember the last time we had that.
Eldritch Moon?
Was it Emrakul?
Take either Emrakul or Liliana. Take your pick. Those are the 2 best cards in the set.
Okay, fair enough.
So, but I mean, that's a we're talking since then.
Yeah.
I think this card is going to live up to the hype, and the hype is significant.
And again, people are pairing it with Liliana, Death's Majesty. It's really good there too. Bolas actually works really well with Bolas because when you flip him, he can bring back himself, and it's basically like a loop it's very hard to break. And all this time, like, you're just eating your opponent's hand away very slowly. So
yeah, and this card did not need the discard a card ability, but the fact and it would have been a good card.
I think he needs something else. I think he did need something else. I think a 4/4/4 wasn't good enough.
Yeah, it would have been good. Just turning into a Planeswalker would have been good, but not not game breaking. But that it's so innocuous. But man, I'm telling you, this card is going to get really old for a lot of people. Or alternatively, you could be playing it and you could make your opponent feel like it's going to get really old for them.
I mean, I remember playing back with Liliana. 3-mana one, not Last Hope. The Veil.
Liliana the Veil. How dare you forget her name?
So someone discarding a card, like discarding just one card, you could lose the game. Like there's people that discard like their 5-mana card or 6-mana card because it's early, or even 7-mana card, whatever. And then come turn 7, you're like, oh my god, I wish I didn't discard that Gear Hulk or that. You know, that spell that generates a ton of value.
Yeah.
At the same time, you can't toss a land if you don't have enough land, or that's the cheap spell because it's early in the game. It's very hard. It's very hard to play it correctly.
Well, and there's not many times that a discard ability has been stapled to an efficient creature, because this is a 4/4 flyer for 4. So you're discarding something either that's going to either progress you to the late game, like card draw or removal spell, and then you're having trouble dealing with it in the short term, or you're discarding, something that you're going to help take over the game from the Bolas later in the game, or
I mean, at worst is a Mind Rot that makes your opponent pay for one of their spells to kill it.
Yeah.
At best, it's a
planeswalker that ends the game immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good upside. It's a good upside.
Card.
And the worst part / the best part is this card encourages you to play 4 of them. So you're going to see that a lot.
Discard all those cards.
Okay, so
next up, it's top 5 cards with the best flavor.
I like flavor.
All right.
I'd like number 5, peanut butter. Peanut butter is a pretty good flavor. You can't you can't just eat peanut butter all day though. Because your mouth you're just gonna your jaws are gonna get tired. One.
It's true. Parnell, I'm gonna stop right there. We're talking about different flavor. I apologize. We're talking about cards flavor.
Okay, all right, interesting. I don't think cardboard would crack the top 5, but I'm interested to hear your take.
No, not taste. Best flavor. Like out of our 5 slot comes Gearsmith Prodigy.
Guardian.
Not Prodigy. I don't know why I said Prodigy.
I don't know either. I think you just made up a word. I mean that's a real word, but
Gearsmith Guardian.
I mean Prodigy is a different card.
Oh man, that's even a card in the set too.
It is. That's probably exactly why you said it.
Oh, probably.
But now that you've ruined everything, Gearsmith Guardian.
How can you have 2 Gearsmith in the set? Come on now. Anyways, Gearsmith Guardian.
Because I think they're meant to be played each other, which is why it's such good flavor, Ollie.
Are they?
Because Gearsmith Prodigy probably made the Gearsmith Guardian. Gearsmith Prodigy is just a little 1/2, but if you control an artifact, it gets +1/+0, and if Gearsmith Guardian, if you control a blue creature, it gets +2/+2.
Oh, +2/+2. There's the flavor.
You get it? You get it?
Yes. Mind blown.
And a lot of the what's it called? The blue creatures in this set are artificers, and
yes,
they probably made the suit of armor. Made in his creator's image, they're slightly more clangy.
Just slightly. Not too much.
That's the flavor text. The flavor text for Gearsmith Prodigy: young artificers on Kaladesh let their imaginations run wild. Made a suit of armor. Boom. That's why it's number 5. All right. Number 4 is this one. This one is so easy to understand the flavor. Skeleton Archer. Do you know what its creature type is?
Let me guess. Skeleton Archer.
Yes, you got it. Gets top 4 on flavor. For that, there's so few creatures in Magic where their creature type is the name of the card.
Yes,
there were a lot more, but then they errated everything appropriately because they back in Alpha, every creature was just whatever it said. Halfdane was summon Halfdane. Anyway, Skeleton Archer, creature Skeleton Archer. The art is great because it's literally a Skeleton Archer. Flavor text, also fantastic. This is my favorite part of the card.
All right, I'm ready.
When it comes to killing with precision, a soul is but a hindrance.
So black.
It is. It's so dark, but it's so right. It's the best things, the best killing stuff, you don't have a soul, so just go kill stuff.
Because you don't care. Long hair, don't care.
That's right.
Basically.
Okay.
Or no hair, don't care.
This is, because it's a skeleton. You don't have.
This next one is sweet. Number 3.
This next one's super sweet. I'm really excited for us to talk about this one specifically.
Yes. Nightmare's Thirst.
Yes.
The flavor text on this one says, that feeling of something on your chest is usually sleep paralysis. Occasionally, it's something else. And that just an art is of a man laying down like a demon on top of his chest. Yeah. This is literally the art you see in old days when people talk about sleep paralysis but didn't know what it was.
Yes.
They believed that there was this demon on your chest and that you're haunted by the devil or not necessarily possessed, but basically there was actually some evil force there.
Exactly. So fun fact, Thinktwice fact. One of the things Ali and I share is we actually both suffer from sleep paralysis, and unfortunately, it's not super uncommon. I mean, it's not it's not common, but sleep paralysis for a lot of people, when you first start having it, you don't actually know what it is. So everyone kind of has this awakening period where you're finding out about it, and when you look it up, the first thing that you see is a very famous painting of a noble person sleeping in a bed, and this small imp-like demon laying on their sitting exactly like this art depicts on their chest in the bed.
It's
and
actually super sweet.
It's very eerie and appropriate for what it is.
Because sleep paralysis is eerie.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard to. It's almost impossible to describe it to someone that doesn't have it. But this is a great depiction of it in Magic, and the flavor meets the effect of the card and the flavor text and the art. It's great.
All right, next one. Number 2. Chaos Wand.
Wand!
AKA sideboard this in against Ali Aintrazi decks.
Yes. Good call. Good call.
I swear,
hold on. I scratched out a different card on my sideboard and then added it.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. So, when I first saw this card, I was like, okay. If any of my decks become like tier 1, this is going to be a card that people might play in their sideboard to poop on my decks. Chaos Wand is it costs 3 to cast, 4 and 4 to activate. It says target opponent exiles card from top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put the exile cards that weren't cast this way on the bottom of that library in a random order.
This card is great because it's literally a wand. It's like, well, I'm going to play someone different every time, and I have no idea what it's going to do, but I'm going to do it.
It's chaos. It's like the Bloodbraid Elf. It's like Cascade, but on your opponent's deck, and it's any card. It's any card, guys. So if your opponent's playing like Glimmer Geniuses and big spells, like Mixes of Fate.
Anything that costs 4 or more, because that's how much you're paying for it. So
yes, so especially after board, against the control mirror, I think it might actually be reasonable. Like because people board out removal. So what are you going to copy? What are you going to copy like
draw spells and such? Yeah, and on top of that, you can activate this at the end of the turn.
Yeah, and Dress isn't a bad one to copy either. So yeah. Or to cast.
It's also fun if they go to cast something and you're like, all right, well, let's see if it hit disallow.
Oh my god! Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right.
Super random, super chaos, super awesome.
Yes, number 1, and this is going to be appropriate for later today when we talk about the Magic story. Chromium the Mutable.
Chromium the Mutable turns into a human. We discard a card. Turns into a 1/1 human. They can't be targeted by spells and abilities. And this is very flavorful for the card itself because this is like literally what he does.
This is what Chromium figured out how to do, was turn into a human and walk among them unbeknownst to them. Turns into an unblockable human with hexproof.
So he's basically baby Jesus.
He's baby. How does he? What?
Because he walks. He's a god that walks among men. All right. So Chromium the Mutable is number 1 because he can turn into a human, and he actually does this in the lore, in the past lore, in the future, in the current lore, and probably the future lore.
It's great because it's always fun when you have a legendary creature or planeswalker that does exactly the thing that they do. Like to a T. Cool. Yeah, it's really cool. All right. Next top 5. Top 5 cards that will be the biggest busts in Core 19.
All right. Number 5. The mane cycle. So if you have like a nice mane, like a lion's mane or a nice beard.
I think it's the mare cycle.
I'm gonna go with mane.
Well, but they're mares. They're
look at their
horsies.
But I want to put all these in my deck and call them. This is my main deck.
Oh, you lose all your rounds though because they're terrible. All of them are awful.
I think they're pretty bad.
They're all not good. They're all not good.
The green one is the best one. The green one is just the best one.
No, the black one is the best one. Are you kidding? The black one's definitely the best one.
I don't know, man. If zombies becomes big, I just play a Vine Mare against your zombie deck and just attack your 5. That's like Chameleon Colossus, but a lot weaker. Actually, not weaker. Not weaker because Chameleon Colossus could be blocked. I don't know. That kills you fast, man.
Chameleon Colossus cannot be blocked.
By what? Pro black.
Okay, yeah. So what are you even saying?
I don't know. For some reason I thought it could have been blocked.
No. Plague Mare is definitely the best one. It says when it enters battlefield, creatures your opponent control get -1/-1 to end a turn.
Oh, you're right. That's train willer for sideboards. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, this card that card is fine. The other 5 are poopy. I agree that Vine Mare is the second best one.
Yes.
I don't think
the blue one sucks.
This is like the worst hoser cycle I've ever seen in my entire life.
The white one is like just like what? The white one is like a 2/3. It comes into play, you gain 3 life. When it's targeted by spell ability, you gain 3 life. But then it has the text that doesn't matter.
Can't be blocked by red creatures. Great. So when you're attacking,
I don't want to attack.
Yeah, when you're attacking with your 2/3 against the red deck, they're gonna be like, oh, well, I want to block, but I just can't.
Yeah, take it. You're dead now. Like, no.
I think Surge Mare might be the worst uncommon in the entire set.
The card's pretty bad.
It's awful.
It is bad.
It's hideous. It's hideously awful.
The fact they pump mana to it, then
so unnecessary.
Anyways,
make it
doesn't
like
matter.
If it was a 1/5, it'd be so different. But they're like, well, can't do that. Can't just let it attack on its own. Anyway, moving on.
It loots. It doesn't even draw a card. So
yeah, it's bad. It's no good. It's just It's just not good.
Next one. This is I'm sad, but Runic Armasaur. This dinosaur costs 3, 1, 2 green, 2/5. When our opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, you may draw a card.
Great. So when I tap Llanowar Elves,
play cricket noise. That works. Yes. So if you it doesn't work with Llanowar Elves. I guess it works with like Earthshare Kinra if you really want that.
No,
I guess.
No, it doesn't.
Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land. Oh, it's not activated. That's not an
activated ability. It just comes into play. It's a trigger ability.
This card's even worse. This card's unplayable.
It's not good. It's not good. How high did that toughness have to be for this card to be good? Because they bumped it up there. 7, a 2/7, like just on stats alone. And if it draws you a card, you're like, all right, well.
Because of Arcades, yeah. 2/7.
No, that doesn't. What? That doesn't matter.
No, but Arcades lets you attack the toughness and Dorn.
No.
God, no, it's a defender, so you're right. Yeah, never mind. This card's awful. All right, just move on.
Get it out of here. Number 3 is...
This card's obviously made for older formats. It's called Isolate. Exit target permanent with converted mana cost 1.
This would have been really good against Death Rat Shaman.
Not 1 or less. Exactly 1. If it was 1 or less, this card would be actually fantastic.
No, well, this card would be the best card that they've printed since, like, Treasure Cruise.
Okay, well, anyways.
Because then you could exile lands on turn 1. That doesn't seem very fair.
Sure. Okay, exile non-land permanent costs 1 or less.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be playable against the Fandy, but now it's just like 1? Just 1?
It's just too narrow.
It's super narrow.
People are going to try it, though, and that's the worst thing. People are really going to try it, and they're really going to be disappointed.
Yeah, for Death Shadow, I guess. That's like the only thing. But just play Condemn, Condemn kills 2 Death Shadows.
Yeah. Yeah. Or any number of things.
Or Celestial Purge.
Or Path to Exile. Like, there's just...
You're probably playing Path.
Yeah.
But Purge is like a nice catch-all, too. It hits like Blood Moon and
or you can play Path to Exile. Because it gets every creature. It says, exile target creature doesn't have hexproof.
Okay.
That's a lot wider than Isolate.
All right.
But Isolate's not as bad as the next card on the list.
People are going to probably argue with us.
Oh, God, I hope they do. I'm ready.
Alpine Moon.
Womp, womp, womp.
Alpine Moon is a 1-cost red enchantment. It says, as Alpine Moon enters the battlefield, choose a non-basic land card. Lands your opponents control with that name lose all land types and abilities, and they gain tap, add 1 mana of any card in your mana pool. So you basically play this, you turn your opponent's Valakut's or Tron land into a City Brass that doesn't hurt them.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you how much they're not going to care.
I've played Tron a lot, okay? I've played Tron for...
Regale us the tale.
I've played Tron for forever, okay? I've won Invitational with Tron. And Blood Moon sucks against Tron, okay? Because eventually they just blow you up with Blood Moon anyways. You know what's worse than Blood Moon?
What?
Alpine Moon.
Yes.
You know why? You play this, and now my Tron land, I can just, it taps any color. There's times where Tron kind of gets hurt because they have no green for like
green mana. Yeah.
Yeah. So now my green's turned on, and I can just Nature's Claim this off my Tron land, which is kind of absurd.
Also, this card unlike Blood Moon at least is like, all right, this is like it's at least jabbing you in the ribs because it's going to slow you down. Blood Sun at least draws you a card.
Yeah.
This does neither.
I mean, I guess Valakut's the only, like, the best thing it's good against, right? It has to be Valakut, that's it.
I don't want. Dude, they play like 8 Titans in their deck. They play like 4 Primeval Titans and they can bring in like 4 Inferno Titans and then beat you with like Inferno Titans, Primeval Titans, and Opposite Bells. Whatever. I'm
just saying from the Tron perspective, this card is poop.
You know what, Ollie? I'll never know because I'll never cast this card.
It's true.
I'll never know how good it is.
The last one. If people lost their minds over Alpine Moon, they'll probably lose their minds over this one too.
Yeah, this one is a
Resplendent Angel. Womp womp womp.
This card looks great, doesn't it?
It does look good.
It looks good. But
it has no butt.
No, it's got a little butt. It's got 3. It's a 3/3 flyer for 3. It's got great stats, okay? Great stats.
Is that good enough though?
And it says at the beginning of each instep, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, create a Sayer Angel token. That's a really powerful ability. You have to have a way to gain life to activate this. Oh, wait. Resplendent Angel has an ability that gives it +2/+2 and lifelink until end of turn. That ability costs 6. That's a lot. So on turn 6, you're tapping out. If you're hopefully, I imagine you're playing heavy white or mono white because it costs 3 white to do that. And it's just like, I don't think this card matches up well with anything.
Well, the thing is too, if you have Lyra in play, you're making 4 for Angels. But if you have Lyra in play, aren't you
winning? You're winning. Yeah. It's like you hit them with Lyra, or you killed a creature with Lyra. It's Lyra that's winning. It's not Resplendent Angel. Spoiler alert, it's always the Baneslayer Angel that's winning you the game.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. This card is disappointing because it looks like, on the surface, it looks like it's got good stats. I just don't think this card makes it. It's like in that weird spot where it's just like, oh, it looks really good, but it's not quite good enough. This card's probably a bomb and limited, but outside of that.
It's like Transcendent Master. Transcendent Master was an old card that like you just leveled up and it became something absurd. Cost 1. People thought like that was gonna be really good, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah,
just too much.
It just it doesn't check enough boxes to make do. And people are gonna try this card because this is the only card on this list that I think is a, like, in a vacuum is a good card, but we don't play cards in a vacuum. And I just don't think this fits anywhere. And I'm not even talking about standard.
Keep in mind too, Vidanian Click saw almost no play in standard. Until
the very end, and then it was only just like a card. It wasn't even a staple.
It was more of a sideboard card too. Yeah.
And that's one of the best blue creatures of all time. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Next top 5. Top 5 cards for non-standard 60 card formats.
I think this card.
Ollie, you like this card a lot more than I do. Our number 5 card.
I think it's great for standard too. Bone Dragon.
Okay.
Bone Dragon is a 5-cost 5/4 with flying. You can pay 5, exile 7 other cards from your graveyard, return Bone Dragon from your battlefield, from graveyard to the battlefield. So basically, you can just pay 5, exile 7 cards, and bring him back to the battlefield at instant speed, which is huge. He's a 5/4, so immune to Glorybringer.
Because it's a dragon.
Yeah. And I just think this is a nice way to win if you're playing Godpharaoh's Gift or even mono black Godpharaoh's Gift. Like, you can just mill yourself a lot, and then if you can't get Godpharaoh's Gift to work, your opponent has Forsake, you just start bringing this guy back.
Yeah. I just think that, okay, so either 7 cards is a lot of cards for a deck, or 5 mana is a lot of mana. If it's not 7 cards. Like, decks usually do one or the other really well. And
sure, but I don't think he's a 4 of it. I think it's like he's a 2 of that you try to mill or discard or something.
I guess.
It's just nice too because even against like Bolas, you can discard him and bring him back later. It's just the fact, and also, it's also 5/4, which is huge for a flying creature. And
yeah, it's
instant
pretty
speed.
big. It's pretty big.
Yeah, casting from your graveyard is actually more valuable than casting from your hand.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's really good, I think.
Okay. All right. Number 4. This is. I hope this card isn't good, because if it's good, it's going to be really annoying. But Supreme Phantom. This card
Supreme Phantom is a 2-mana 1/3 flying. Other spirits you control get +1/+1.
This is the cheapest Spirit Lord that Spirits have ever had, and it is
outside of it. Yeah,
it's actually pretty difficult to kill. Obviously, in Modern you have Lightning Bolt, but if you have 2 of them down, and that's not uncommon.
that's not enough.
Like, the fact that you get to lower your curve and put a good spirit into your deck is notable.
Yeah, it matters for a lot of reasons. Aether Vial 2.
Yeah.
It's also the only one, like, I guess they could consider maybe, in quotes, air quotes, a lord was maybe Phantasmal Image, copying the Groxel Captain, but even then, like, people can play that.
Yeah, but that also costs 3, so like you couldn't even, like, that's still a 3-cost Lord versus a 2-cost Lord, which I think is like a gigantic difference.
Oh, it is, but I'm saying, like, Phantasmal Image costs 2 though.
Yeah, but you already had to have the 3-cost Lord in play first.
I agree. Yeah. I think this is a lot better.
Yeah.
Obviously it's one less. It's not, and just pumping your spirits for that cheap is just really good. It puts your spell colors out of bolt range, which is huge. Like, your opponents have to kill your Supreme Phantom before they can kill your spell color.
Mm-hmm.
Just a great card all around.
Yeah.
For that deck.
All right, number 3, another card that I like a lot.
This is Justin's invitational card. Go ahead.
a little bit. Infernal Reckoning. This is a single black instant, and if you're confused at what it's supposed to do, the art is a demon
Justin, sorry.
ripping
Justin,
the life out of an Eldrazi creature, and it says,
well, crushing.
Oh no, it's ripping the life out of it. It's crushing the life out of it. Maybe not ripping it out, crushing the life out of it. Exile target colorless creature. You gain life equal to its power. 1 black instant. In Eternal formats, Eldrazi creatures often have access to either Chalice of the Void or Thorn of Amethyst, Sphere resistant type effects. So this card is worse than it looks, because Chalice just stops it, because they're almost always going to Chalice on 1. But if you're able to cast this card, it is like arguably the most efficient answer to colorless creatures ever printed in history.
Oh, definitely is. Yeah, definitely is.
Exiling them is really important rather than just killing them, because obviously things have like death triggers, and gaining life is good because often those decks are fairly aggressive. So I'm a big fan of this card.
Yeah, killing you put in place like Reality Smash, you're like, all right, well, I'll discard a card, but exile your guy gain 5 life.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, no, it's very good. It's very good.
All right, next one.
Top 2 cards are pretty similar. I ordered them like this because I think one is significantly better than the other. Number 2 is Mistcaller. This is an Merfolk Wizard for a single blue. It's a 1/1, and it just sacrifice Mistcaller until end of turn. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it. So this is blue getting an answer to reanimation or otherwise putting things into play shenanigans, which they actually haven't really had before, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, this is pretty huge for them. I'm not sure if this is like I don't play Legacy that much, but how important is this card in like Merfolk Legacy?
It's important. It's really important. And I don't think Merfolk's good, but Merfolk is a deck that can be good. It's always just like kind of a step or 2 away from being good, and the fact that this is a Merfolk and a Wizard, you kind of can go both ways. Wizards is another deck in Modern that's actually been getting a lot more play recently as they continue to print good Wizards, so this is actually a tool for that deck too. So this is just a card that's going to be around a lot, and this is going to be in those type decks, the Merfolk or Wizard deck is going to be a mainstay in sideboards pretty much forever.
All right, and the last one is another spirit, not a Spirit Lord, but a spirit nonetheless, Remorseful Cleric. It's a 2-cost, 2/1 flying. You can sacrifice him to exile all cards from target player's graveyard.
So, and I said obviously this is similar to Mistcaller, because Mistcaller's most common thing is going to be making sure people can't reanimate things, right? Well, Remorseful Cleric does the same thing, but this card is a 2/1 for 2 flyer spirit on its own. So you can just put this into play and you can just start getting aggressive, unlike Mistcaller, which is a 1/1 for 1.
Also has flying too, which makes it have like evasion or whatever, so that's super nice. Like if one for some reason doesn't have a graveyard or isn't able to do anything with a graveyard, you can just
start getting
keep
in there.
Bashing.
Yeah.
It's like Selfless Spirit almost, but different.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the same stats as Selfless Spirit. This is more. That's good against control decks. This is good against combo decks.
Yeah,
for
sure.
This card is great. This is definitely my pick for the most impactful non-standard card. Great card.
All right, last list of 5.
Ollie, this is your time to shine. Okay, I'm gonna let you just let loose. Top 5 cards to brew with.
All right, top 5 cards to brew with. I'll go with number 5. Will be Gutter Snipe.
Returning favorite.
Gutter Snipe is a very powerful card. It's a 3-cost goblin that says whenever you cast... Sorry, a 3-cost 2/2 goblin shaman. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Gutter Snipe deals 2 damage to each opponent. This card, if your opponent untaps with it, you're probably just dead. They can very easily just burn you out of the game. It's crazy how efficient this card is when you build around it. I think it's a sweet one to play around with, especially with things like double cast into like a lightning strike, just doing a buttload damage. It's just cool, or even shock. Like shock that deals 4 damage now, so it's very powerful card.
It's good. You don't have to have many other creatures in your deck. You can just play this and then kind of play either a controller game and just kill them with damage.
Yeah, for sure. And after the next one, I was thinking between Tezzeret or this card. I'm going to go with this card because I think this card's a lot hard to build around. It's like a lot harder to play. Tezzeret you can just jam in a blue deck, I think. Is Sia, Master Thopterist. Sia is not the singer.
I think this is Sai.
Sai? Just Sai?
Yeah.
Okay, well, regardless, this is Snoop Dogg's invitational card. If you can't tell, it's Snoop Dogg in the art.
Hold on, let me look at it.
Alright. It costs 2 and a blue. It's a 1/4. It's a legendary creature. It says whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying.
I don't know about this looking like Snoop Dogg, but I'm gonna let you finish.
It's definitely Snoop Dogg.
I'm gonna let you finish, Tay. Go ahead.
Alright. You can pay 1 a blue, sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card.
Yeah.
The fact that you can not only does he turn on Mox Amber, but he makes Mox Amber later in the games, make a Thopter, and if you draw multiple Mox Ambers, you can just sacrifice 1, draw a card. It's also 1/4, so it's great at blocking. He just seems great at fueling artifact shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it's a 1/4 for 3 is not... That's not a small thing either.
No, not at all.
And you can really start to get going with this card, because obviously artifacts are like the easiest card type to start chaining together.
Yeah, there's even artifacts that reduce the cost of other artifacts. Like there's something in Kaladesh that is an artifact that reduces the cost of your other artifacts by 1. Even just playing ramp artifacts, like playing a good Lotus, then playing another artifact.
Yeah. And
then playing Paradoxical Outcome or something. You can just do some silly stuff with this card if you really want to. It's a fun build around me card.
Yes, big time. And again,
all right.
This is Psy. This is just a word.
Snoop Dogg. Next one is Arcades, the Strategist. People love this card for Commander, obviously, for obvious reasons. It's a great Commander. But it's also sweet to brew around in Standard. With Arcades, you can just... first of all, he's a 3/5. 3/5 is huge. 3/5 is very hard to kill. It's
big old butt.
Yes. And it has Vigilance, so it's very hard to attack through. For 4 costs, it actually has pretty good stats. It's a 3/5 flying Vigilance.
Yeah. It does have good stats.
Yeah. And then on top of that, it says whenever you play a wall or creature defender, you draw a card. So if you play your Wall of Mist, Wall of Vines, Wall of Nile, whatever walls you got.
I wonder how many walls are in this set.
That's a good question.
You keep going. I'm just going to be looking for walls.
All right.
Scouring for walls.
Do it.
I am doing it. You keep going. I'm scouring for walls.
Usually defenders. I'm trying. Usually defenders are not the best, so you don't want to jam too much. But
Wall of Vines. We got 1.
There you go.
Wall of Mist. We got 2.
There you go. Arcades reward you for playing defenders, because when you play one, you can draw a card. And on top of that, they can attack as a defender. And these cards are pretty absurd. Like playing Wall of Mist is a 2-mana 5/5. it's pretty crazy. This card is a sweet Builder Army card, so that is my...
Okay, I have scoured the spoiler, and there's a green wall and a blue wall. There's not a white wall for some completely unknown reason. You can't even draft this and then draft a sweet wall deck. There's Suspicious Bookcase, which is an artifact wall. Where's the white wall? Huh?
Where's the white wall?
The white wall. Yes.
Well, there's some artifact walls. There's Consulate Skygate, which is a two cost.
No, I mean in the set. If I draft Arcades, I want to play the wall deck.
Oh, I'm talking about just in general wall.
Oh no, there's plenty of walls. There's walls all over the place. Look to your left. Look to your right. Boom, 2 walls.
There's even a moaning wall. It's a black zombie wall that costs 3.
Yeah, but you're not playing black. You're playing Bant.
I'm just saying there's a lot of walls, but more so there's a ton of
look behind you.
Artifact walls.
It's a wall.
Oh my god.
Well, see, they're everywhere. Number 2.
Oh my god. Number 2. Omniscience. This is a sweet Build Army card. You obviously can't play too many of these. It's obviously broken in older formats. You cheat out and cheat into play. But Omniscience is a fun one to play with because if you play, you can just start basically playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Dredge, or just basically playing Magic.
Playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh! So I have no idea.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, okay? There's no mana. There's no restriction how many trainer cards you can play. It's like Hearthstone with infinite gems, whatever, crystals. It's just super fun. It's like you're breaking the biggest rule of Magic, and you get to just cast like Chain Clearer Geniuses into a big pool from tomorrow if you want, and then just cast everything else and just go ham. Fun card, fun to play with. And the last one, number 1 card, is Nexus of Fate. And
man, I can't wait to open this out of a booster pack.
But wait, you can't.
Oh no.
I think Nexus of Fate is a sweet one to brew around. You can brew it around with like the Mara Conjecture, take multiple turns in a row. You can brew it around a control deck, like basically a control deck with Nexus of Fate as a quote unquote approach to Second Sons, but as a blue one. Or you can play it with just like a ramp deck with Nexus of Fate that tries to abuse like all your mana, or you can even play it with like a Planeswalker strategy, so you can just activate a Planeswalker just multiple times. The fact that's in a turn allows you to set up. This card just does a lot. It's a sweet card. You can even play in your sideboard just to not get milled in case there's some kind of mill strategy.
That's true. That's true. Because it says any time that put into a graveyard from anywhere, right?
Yes.
Like it doesn't matter if I thought sees you or if someone else mills you, because it wouldn't be me.
Or if I mill it, or you can't counter it.
If you have Stitcher Supplier and you're like, oh, I put my Nexus of Fate in my graveyard with my Stitcher Supplier deck. How did this get in this deck? But I did it anyway. Now I'm going to shuffle it in.
Yeah, sure. You have to be careful too because, I mean, this card also sets up infinite turns by itself. Eventually, if you just are able to reduce your deck to 4 Nexus of Fates or whatever, 2 Nexus of Fates, etc. So it sets up infinite turns by itself.
So many turns.
Sweet.
One could argue all of the rest of the turns.
You're not wrong.
Okay, boys and girls, that is our 5 list of 5 for 60 card constructed on Core 19. We will return to discussing Core 19 next week, and we're going to give you our top 10 list for the entire set next week. So make sure to return for that. We'll also give you some thoughts on how Core 19 performed week 1 in Standard, and then after that, the week following, we're going to get into Commander and Cube for Core 19. So stick around. We're not done for today. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to be talking Magic Story, The Whispers of Treachery.
So we're back with more Bolas story.
First,
Whispers.
First in Tarkir. We're in Tarkir, right? Or are we in Dominaria? Where are we?
We are in Tarkir.
Oh, thank God.
In the past, in the future, in the present. You never know in Tarkir because it's a lot of crazy timelines. Obviously, in the past, Ugin's still dead. With the group. And they're traveling with the basically the Jeskai seer, the person telling the story, a dragon tempest begins to form. They go to find cover. They basically go into what I perceive as a cave. And the grandma Yasova is like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go out there, take the liver and the heart from the Tarkar broodling, not so we can eat it, but so that they don't know.
So no one finds it.
Yes. While she's doing that, Bei is healing Taijin, and they keep glancing back and forth at each other. They seem to be like kind of seems like each other, but in a very subtle way. Like nothing crazy is going on.
Nothing crazy going on.
Nothing crazy. No, they're sharing stories, but they're also trying to keep like their quote unquote clan secrets to themselves too. They don't want to go too much. They don't want to share like, what, all the Jeskai secrets or all the Teamer secrets, the Shaman secrets.
Ojitai would be very disappointed if he heard you saying those two words.
Sorry, Ojitai.
And by disappointed, I mean he would kill you.
It's true. All right, so then we go back to the story, the dragon story, Ugin and Bolas story. Ugin is healing behind the mountain still from the poison dart or the poison arrow that sliced his foot, and Bolas is planning. He is planning something. We don't know exactly what it is, but we have kind of an idea because it's Bolas. And as he's planning, they see a frail-looking human walking towards them. And as it comes closer, they realize it's not a human at all, but Chromium the Mutable.
Dun dun dun.
Lore success.
Flavor success.
Yeah. All the success. Bolas is talking to Chromium, and as Chromium is talking, Bolas is trying to play his words. Manipulate what he's saying, and in turn make him do what he wants to do, or see that he's right. And Chromium realizes what he's doing. Chromium gets annoyed and realizes what he's doing, and he basically tells him to stop. He says, if you ever do that again, I'll kill you. And then before he flies away, he degrades Bolas by making fun of his size, saying that he was the last one born. He was the last one born, so he's like not only the smallest one in size, but he's like the youngest too, so he's just the weakest one.
Yeah.
Then Chromium flies away. So
let me stop you. Was it not a little infuriating to see Bolas literally just do that? Chromium says something and Bolas just tries to obscure it for no reason. Well, not for no reason, obviously, but
yeah,
he's just.
I think why is because he's I think we can visit that a lot more in depth once we finish.
Okay.
But basically, yes, I think he's learned how to do that with humans. And he's trying to see how far he can go with dragons. Because I think he also tried to do it with Ugin before, too. And Ugin, just had to shake his head. So Bolas, seeing how far his new power that he's learned can grow. But Bolas is able to basically speak to humans in their mind and convince them to do something else. We saw that in Amonkhet, obviously. And now we see this now where he's able to turn the dragon hunters basically against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, basically to worship him.
Yep.
They kill each other. Then eventually, at the end, the two big ones kill each other. Then Bolas tries hey, now I'm your leader. Now you'll bow for me. And he's hey Ugin. Now you have an army of dragon hunters. And he says least of the fallen, in quotes. Yeah, they'll see who's least of the fallen. And then Ugin learns that Bolas wants to overthrow his brothers. He's gonna be the weakest one. He wants to be the strongest, the most powerful, and he'll do anything it takes to get that goal. Especially for himself, because Bolas is just super selfish. And then as he's saying this, he's like, "Of course, this is what you want too, Ugin, right? This is what you want. So, you shouldn't be angry." And then at that moment, Ugin's mind almost snaps. He realizes that he's just been a pawn in his brother's plan. Because his brother is a super self-centered dragon. So Ugin's his bond with his brother breaks, his trust breaks, his love shatters. It all broke, and as this is happening, obviously a lot of emotions, and he ascends to Planeswalker status. So his spark ignites.
Yep.
When his spark ignites, he involuntarily travels to Tarkir. He goes to Tarkir because I imagine he saw it in the globe when he was with Arcades training with a human. One of the globes he can craft is the image of Tarkir. That's when he ends up going.
And of course, when a planeswalker spark ignites, they don't choose to where they go, but it is obviously, as we've seen with just about every other planeswalker, there's something in their heart or mind that pushes them subconsciously to wherever they go.
So after that, we go back to Tarkir with the quote unquote present time, which is in the past. They talk about Yasova. Yasova tells them that she witnessed the battle between Ugin and Bolas, and now she believes that Bolas had manipulated her to aiding him so Bolas could kill Ugin. Which, anyways, so that's what she says. And then as the story's about to wrap up, Matak, as I say, he comes back in and says, "First, Mother, you need to come see this." He's talking to Yasova, and that's where it ends.
I really loved this story.
I had to, because there's a lot going on, and this is a story that really asks you to read it again.
Yeah,
to fully absorb everything.
It does, and they really want you to pay attention to all of the details, which is
because there's a lot.
There is a lot, and this was actually a pretty long story, but I felt it was pretty brisk, because
I was reading it while on a treadmill, so it was not brisk for me. Luckily, so it was I was definitely dying, but it seemed like forever. But it was good. It was good forever.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah.
This is the truest glimpse of kind of what we know as Nicol Bolas. Obviously, It's kind of been, the story has been building to this point for the last 3 weeks, and then you're finally getting the. I know I'm looking for a word, and I can't find it. Bolas being manipulative and power hungry and violent and everything that we know about Bolas now is this is his first, this is like his coming out party, because this is his first plan, right? And Bolas of anything is known for his plans, and this is his first plan that he worked up over however long this time had been, years and years, because obviously we know the hunter that killed Marivia Saul is young initially in the first story, and then is old in this story, and is kind of the leader of this dragon hunter group. Yep. So Bolas has been planning for dragon years, basically no time, but for human years, probably 30, 40 years.
Yeah, like a decade.
Probably longer than a decade.
Oh yeah, longer than a decade. Yeah,
probably like 30 or 40 years.
Okay, sure.
Because he was young, and then he went to old. So
yeah. You also realize that Nicol Bolas no longer is going off his impulses. Like, you see, sometimes he'd get angry at his brothers, he'd huff and puff, and you can be like, "Yo, stop, calm down, brother." Or he was step on his tail and speak for him.
Yeah.
But now Nicol Bolas is able to suppress that, and I don't
want to use the word suppress, because I don't think any of it goes away. I think he gets just as angry as he did in the other stories, but he uses that rage to fuel his psychosis.
Well, sure, but even against Chromium, he's Chromium says something. He says these humans are dragon killers. Their chief is an old man who hunted a dragon when young and still gloats up endlessly while sitting on a chair made of its bones. He has decreed that any person who kills a dragon will join the ranks of his heirs. Nicol Bolas gave a low grumble as if the answer contented him. "I see. How convenient." We know deep down he's freaking seething.
He's furious. Yeah, he's furious. Yes. Yeah, but he's using that, he uses this anger, and he's so quick to anger, but he's not quick to reaction. Everything makes him angry, which is that's kind of the red in him, but he uses that, and he just wants to turn it, and like he stews on it immediately and for a long time to turn it into one of his plans, because he basically like what I think I've learned about Bolas in this the most is he thinks that everyone has wronged him, that he is owed something from everyone. He wants to make them pay because they've wronged him. He wants to make Arcades pay because Arcades was so arrogant to stand and live with humans and not see them for the weak individuals and the stupid things that he thinks that they are. He hates Vivictus because Vivictus is aggressive and wants to take control over the land and kind of be in charge. He hates Chromium because Chromium believes that he's smarter than Bolas and insults Bolas for his size in both stature and intelligence.
Stronger,
yeah. I think the one that he actually hates the least is Palladium Moors, surprisingly. Because it's just like, because I think he doesn't like Palladium because he doesn't like anyone, but I think he can
at a core he can appreciate.
He can appreciate Palladium Moors the most, she also happens to be the easiest one to manipulate and the strongest one. That's true. Physically strongest, intellectually weakest. That's true. Which is
a fantastic target for Bolas if he wants to try to get her on his side to attack maybe Vivictus or Arcades or Chromium.
Yeah, exactly.
That's someone you definitely want to be friends with. So if you're Bolas.
If you're Bolas, yeah. And Bolas resents Ugin because Bolas, obviously, initially Bolas and Ugin are the smallest of all of the Elder Dragons. And Bolas, I think, blames Ugin for existing. Like, why wasn't that just me and the egg? Why wasn't I bigger and stronger initially? Why did you have to exist to take that from me? And
it's Ugin's fault that Bolas isn't a quote-unquote complete dragon or a whole dragon.
Yeah.
And only has one name. Had one name.
Exactly. Yes. And that was Ugin's fault for even existing without choice.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll say the discussion between Chromium and Bolas. It's funny how obviously Bolas wants to kill the humans, but the way he's talking to Chromium is like he's being like sneaky and very manipulative. He's like, like Chromium's like, okay, we need to kill the heirs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then Bolas is like, oh, so Brother Rule, let us not be too hasty and rain down fire. Wouldn't you be the first to say there's something to be learned from them?
Yeah.
And then Chromium's like, he says this thing. I don't want to quote the entire thing, but he's like, to be learned from them.
Go ahead.
All right, Chromium says, to be learned from them, to be avoided is the truth of it. After the disappearance of the 3 dragons, I came to this place to find out what was going on. I saw the chief's hunters trap and kill a small dragon, recently hatched and thus young and vulnerable. Besides, the ballista whose bolts can pierce our scales, their magic workers have instilled sorceries into a venom to make it strong enough to poison even our flesh. The threat to all of us is dire, should they share the knowledge of how to slaughter us with other humanoids. So then Bolas tries to manipulate his words even more or twist them. He goes, so you are content if we kill the innocent who toll as well. So you are content to kill the innocent who toll as well as the prideful rulers? Question mark. And then Chromium's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. And then he realizes, he starts realizing, he's like saying, no, like destroy the chief's house and temples and force them to move away. Like, make them have their own destiny, but don't kill them all. And then, Chromium's like, I don't care where the survivors end up. They are shaping creatures, and can manage their own destinies as long as they do not take their dragon-killing ways with them.
And
then,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Then the boss is like, are you saying that humans may kill and torment each other just as long as they leave dragons alone? And then this is where Chromium is like, all right, dude. He's like, the human eyes flash with a pulse of annoyance, which is Chromium. A glimpse into Chromium's rule's hidden power. You twist my words. I observe. I do not interfere with how they behave amongst themselves.
And Bolas continues, I confess, such a philosophy sounds a trifle hollow to me. One law for them and a different law for us.
Yeah, come on, like, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, Bolas.
It is, man, it's so crazy because he's just like, he's trying to pick a fight. And Chromium his intention was not at all to like get up in Bolas and Ugin's business. He was literally just like wanting to talk with them and be like, hey, so there's these dragon hunters over there, just wanted you guys to know, here's what I want to do. Just want to run it by you guys, just in case there's another idea that you guys can throw up there, and then we can talk about it. And then Bolas is just like, he literally, God, it's infuriating. It's really infuriating. Like, I'm sure most of you have probably met a human being like this that does this, and
yeah, stir the pot for no reason.
Yeah, stir it. Just stir that pot, and that's what Bolas does.
Yeah, and out of instinct, Ugin's like, Nicole's right. He says,
Nicole.
Sorry, Nicole is right. I said hastily, foolishly attempting to play both of them. That doesn't mean we should not consult with Arcades about what to do. So it's basically just saying, yo, guys, chill out. Let's talk with the other dragon first.
Man, yeah.
But Chromium was super angry, and luckily he wasn't like Palladium and just killed them. He said he got really angry. He basically just flew and knocked them down with his wings because he's so huge compared to them. Like his wings were spread wide, and the flat crest of his face reflected the sun in my eyes, so I could barely see. He says, I hear what you are doing, Nicol Bolas. You twist words to whatever... Yeah, sorry. I hear what you are doing, Nicol Bolas. You twist words to whatever shape you wish them to make. Then twist them again to suit your wishes. You are the least of us. Last Ballin. Not even a whole dragon, but only half of one. Bound as you are to Ugin. Do not ever attempt to challenge me, or you will regret it. So then he flies up and he knocks them both down.
No. My favorite part of the entire story is the very end. So at the end of the story, and this is if you're reading it, it gets a little confusing because up until this point, Ugin is basically this is a retelling of a story from Ugin's perspective, and you kind of switch gears towards the end, where Ugin is telling you how he felt about everything in present time at the time the story is being told. So Ugin is telling this story to a Jeskai elder that we come to understand is Tajin's mother, right?
Yeah.
And Ugin starts to talk, actually specifically talk to them in more of a conversational tone rather than a storytelling tone. So it's interesting. It's interesting just to hear, and this is like right before he's telling the story right before his the end of this story as he tells it is when his spark ignites when he goes to Tarkir. But he realizes how foolish that he had been as Bolas manipulated him from the very beginning. And I know we say we don't want to read passages, but I was a very big fan of this one, so I'm going to read it if you don't mind.
Go.
Okay, let me make sure that I can start it from the beginning.
And again, guys, this story is hard enough to get like all details out without reading some passage too, because it's literally all just talking, like back and like not all, but it's like it's hard to get, again, it's hard to summarize
Yeah.
a discussion without quoting anything.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to find. It is okay. So this is when Bolas is trying to kind of the final thing before they part ways to turn Ugin on Bolas' side for good, talking about wanting power, wanting to be a full dragons and have their brothers bow to them. And Ugin says, but power wasn't what I wanted. He didn't understand me at all. He didn't even care to understand me. All he cared about was getting what he wanted, no matter the cost to those around him, no matter the cost to me. What a pain flowered in my heart. It's a cascade of searing shock and betrayal. My brother, my twin. It's bad enough that he'd so callously, so gleefully, torn through the minds of these humans to get what he wanted from them. I understood that now, but he intended to violate my mind too. My brother, my twin. He meant to rouse the worst in me because he had succumbed to the worst in himself, and he wanted to drag me down with him. No, it was even worse than that. He wanted to use me for his own ends, because he had never truly cared for me at all. The bond we shared, the trust we held on each other, it was empty, broken, false. It's crazy. Ugin is a dragon. And yet, I hate to be... We pounded this drum for a while. This passage, compared to the passage where Liliana realized that she had been played by Bolas at the end of the Dominaria story.
Yeah.
Where she's saying things that are in a similar tone, basically realizing an internal monologue where she'd been played. But the words and the way that it was written and the elegance that this is written compared to how that one is written is so embarrassingly far away from each other that I appreciate this passage more than from knowing from where we come from the last story.
Right. Sure. This passage too, though, I also see it as like Ugin almost, in a way, possibly manipulating the human to be like, hey, I'm not like Bolas. I'm not at all on his side.
Yes.
Bolas is super evil.
Thank you.
He's like, he says, it's bad enough that he's so callously, so gleefully torn through the minds of these humans to get what he wanted from them. Like, he specifically says humans, and it's like, he's making a point that they're complete opposites, and that Ugin is nothing like him, and he's on the human side.
Yes. And Ali, you and I are not fooled by Ugin, who has been the narrator of this story from the beginning, right? We know that. Ugin is the narrator of this story.
Yes, and we know Ugin.
We know
one of the ways he manipulates is making him believe that you're his friend, that he's your friend, and
exactly.
he has your back. We saw him do that with the Zor, and then just like basically left him for a shell of himself. And here he's doing the same thing. He's basically
we saw him do that,
showing them.
We saw him do that with Nahiri too.
Yeah, and here he's basically just showing that he's a friend. He's on the human side. He doesn't want to hurt them at all. He learned from a human, but his brother's like the complete opposite, which is again
doesn't
best lies
yeah,
have some truth to it.
Doesn't mean that Bolas isn't terrible, but Ugin is positioning himself as far away from Bolas as he can while telling this story to make him look better in comparison. And how else would this story going to go? It's not going to be like, here's all the things that I've did and the way I've manipulated people.
Yeah, I wonder if this is actually how he actually ignited his spark. I want to say no.
We don't know. Remember, memory is an unreliable narrator, and we're getting it from someone we already don't trust.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, it seems weird to... I mean, maybe. I don't know.
We don't know. We don't... I mean, this is... Here's what we know. Here's what I think we know for sure. We know we know the facts of this story are probably true, right? Bolas and Ugin birthed together in an egg, along with the other Elder Dragons. They interacted with them. They were probably half the size. Bolas is kind of a bad dude. Ugin, not as bad of a dude, is much more curious about the world than Bolas is. All of the details in this story, I don't necessarily trust. I trust the overarching details, but not the minutia. And we don't know if, I mean, maybe we know that Ugin got to Tarkir eventually, and that he is a planeswalker. But did he?
Again, like I said, we know the facts. We know Bolas also defeated Ugin and left him for dead. We know all these. We know like all these little things, but we don't know the stuff in between.
Yeah, and at the very end, and he's telling this to someone who has lived on Tarkir their whole life and has never known another plane. When I woke again in my body, I stood here, awake, fresh, alive, on Tarkir, and I felt the land welcome me, as if I had finally come home. And of course, the person you're telling to is like, "Yeah, Tarkir is home. I love it here." And Ugin's like, "Yeah, don't you just love it? It's just the greatest thing. We're so alike, you and I. We just love this. We just love this Tarkir. This good old Tarkir."
Right, like says Nicole, I've been right after all. I'd witnessed the end, and this is my new beginning in Tarkir. So yeah, he's very like, it's just too much. It's too much like, I don't know, say it's almost like too nice.
Yeah. What are you buttering me up for?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's, I smell something fishy, so we'll see.
And then, of course, at the end of the story, as you said, Taejin finishes, and this is the end of what he knows. And then, of course, Yasova is like, well, the end of the story is when we go to Ugin's grave.
Yeah.
So, last thing I want to mention, this story had the Crux of Fate art in it, among other arts, but this art is still amazing. It's one of my favorite Magic arts of all time. It's Crux of Fate. It's really, really amazing.
Noise.
What?
I said noise.
Okay.
It's noise art.
Got it. Ollie, anything else that you want to talk about on the Whispers of Treachery? We're halfway done with the Core 19 Magic story. Oh man,
even the title of the story, Whispers of Treachery.
Whispers of Treachery.
Is it Ugin or Bolas? Dun, dun, dun.
We don't know. It certainly makes it seem like it's Bolas, doesn't it? But you and I are smart. We got it figured out. Thank goodness you guys are listening to this program, because you got us on your side to help you figure this out. Not saying you can't figure it out on your own, but we're gonna sleuth Ugin out. We're gonna make sure that he doesn't sneak up on you. Don't let him talk sweet nothings into your ear.
Yeah, he likes all your permanents, man.
He'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Time to move on, Ali. Because we spent so much time talking about Core 2019, we are going to be bypassing our pop culture section this week. We are going to be, we still have Ant-Man and the Wasp on deck to talk about, so we are going to be discussing Ant-Man and the Wasp next week, guaranteed. So you have another week to watch that movie if you have not done so yet. So for this week, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, question of the week. So hopefully, Director Choi put in some sweet, sweet question of the week music. We got some like little tropical music last time. I don't know how great it fit, but this is his ordeal, so I'm gonna let him find the best music. I'm going to give it a thumbs slightly downward.
So you give it 2 stars?
Music, yeah, you get 2 stars. 2 stars on the music.
Okay.
But we do have a question of the week this week, Ali. We spent so much time talking about Nicol Bolas the Ravager earlier in the podcast. You and I both agreed this is the most powerful card and impactful card, especially for week 1 out of Core 19. So the question is simple. If you combine the number of copies of Nicol Bolas the Ravager in the top 8 of the Open, and this is a team Open, or the Classics at SCG Worcester this weekend? Will they be over 19.5 copies or under 19.5 copies?
I am going to say under.
Okay.
I think Nicol Bolas Ravager is good, but I don't think he will be able to have 20 copies or in the top 8.
Okay.
One, because...
And this is this is multiple events.
Yeah, one, because this is a Sony format. I understand he's good, but I don't think it's going to be that dominating really quickly. Usually, it really happens week 1. 2, he's a mythic, so it's going to be hard to get him week 1, especially with that many copies, and have that many copies top 8.
Okay.
So maybe if you say maybe in the future, I could agree with that. But I think right now, I do not believe that we will see that many copies of Nicol Bolas in the top 8.
Okay. All right. I am going to say over 19.5. So I think at least 20. So that means I think Nicol Bolas is a 4 of in a deck. So I think there's going to be about 5 decks between all of the top 8s that are going to have that many copies of Bolas. 20 copies overall. I think this is the best card in Core 2019. I think this is going to be a tier 1 deck as some sort of Grixis mid-range deck that has Bolas. I think people are going to figure it out pretty quickly because it's such a generically powerful card. It doesn't take a lot to like figure out how to play with it. The figuring out is going to be what cards to put around it to utilize it the best, but it's a 4-drop that's extremely efficient and turns into a game-ending threat on its own without even doing anything else. So I think you're going to see this early and often this weekend, and it's going to make an immediate impact. So I'm going to take the over on 19.5.
All right.
You want to change your answer? Have you thought about it?
Yes, I think that you're wrong. I do not believe we will see that many or five decks with 4 Bolas in them.
Okay, so let me ask you, not question of the week related. How many? Well, it is related, but how many copies do you think we're going to see in the top 8s combined? Obviously, it's not 20, but how many do you think it'll be?
I think 3.
3 copies?
Yeah.
Well, that's really low.
Oh, like 3 decks.
3. Total? How many copies of the card Nicol Bolas the Ravager?
Oh, sure. Probably 12 to 16.
Okay. So close to what I'm saying, but not quite as many. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close regardless. But I'm going off week 1. It's gonna be hard to obtain.
No, that's fair. Honestly, it's a really good argument. It's a really good argument. So
yeah, but I think you're right too. I think in time, giving like, let's say like a month, then this card will be more and more in the top 8.
Okay, excellent. All right, Ollie, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Twitterverse, Twitch, everywhere. .com/Ali Aintrazi. You can find my articles on gatheringmagic.com. They come out every Friday. This Friday, actually, I have, I believe, 2 or 3 Nicol Bolas brews. One even has Chain Whirler and Nicol Bolas.
Wow.
Check that out. Yeah.
So if people play your brews, you don't think they'll top 8?
I didn't say that.
I mean,
I'm just saying it.
Well, I don't know. You just put a bunch of Bolas decks.
Costs $35. So
okay.
All right. So that's where you find me.
You can find me on Twitter as well. I'm jparnell1 on Twitter, and you can find me on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. I'm the host of the Commander Versus series. We just took a break this week, but you should stay tuned because it's a short break. That's all I'm going to say. When we did our Battle Bond episode on 4th of July last week, I told Steven at the end of the episode, I want you to flip coins until you get tails, and the number of times you get heads is how many weeks we're going to take a break off of the show. He flipped the heads, and then he immediately flipped the tails. People think that we're lying, that we weren't going to go purely by random chance. I don't know. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. You just have to watch to find out. You can find the show also on Twitter at ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter. You can also send us an email directly, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher. We would love for you to leave us a review or a like or a comment or a subscription on one of those platforms. That really helps us and doesn't take you too much time to do. You can also support the show by watching us stream on twitch.tv/thinktwicemtg. I'm trying to do it at least once a week. Been pretty consistent with Wednesdays. Had a couple off because I was not in town, but outside of that, I have been able to do that. I've been streaming standard, singleton when it's up, and a little bit of draft. It's been a lot of fun streaming on MTG Arena on that. And of course, you can support the show directly at patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. We have a lot of different rewards tiers, specifically our $1 Augur of Bolas tier that gets you early access to the show as well as access to our sweet Discord channel, which, speaking of Patreon supporters, Eddie B is our newest Disciple Bolas supporter. Eddie, thank you very much for your support. We do really very much appreciate it. We hope you are enjoying the show.
Gracias.
And of course, the moment that everyone has been waiting for. I know this is the reason that only like half the people are listening to the podcast, is when we get to this part. Because we need to name a new Discord Animal of the Week. And the Discord Animal of the Week for this week is Bandit the Shizu. Congratulations, Bandit. You are the official Animal of the Week. I love that little Shizu face. I just want to grab those little cheekies and just...
I love the name.
Bandit? Bandit's a great name.
Yep.
Do you think Bandit hides things?
Of course.
I want to find out from Matt, Bandit's human companion, if Bandit hides things. As a reminder, if you are the animal, if you're the human companion to the Animal of the Week, you can take a picture with the Animal of the Week winner, post it into the Discord. I will tweet it out to share your adorable little friend with the rest of the world. Okay, that's the show for this week. We want to give a shout out to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. And of course, our director and producer, John Choi, as well as our Agent of Bolas producers, Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, and Liam Whelan. Thank you guys very, very much for your support. As Ollie likes to say,
you the real MVP.
You is true MVP.
Real, true. You're the Maggie MVP.
What does that mean?
You're the MVP of the MVPs.
Okay.
You're the best. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Excellent. We do appreciate you. We do appreciate you guys very much specifically. All right. That's it. We're done for this week. We'll be back next week with more Core 19, more Magic Story, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ollie, I love you very much. We're also going to Philadelphia next week, so Ollie and I are going to be in the same room, which is our favorite way to record a podcast.
Woo-woo.
All right. Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.